Good morning, everybody. Patty Ann here. Hang on just a second. So today I have out this black t-shirt. It's a man's t-shirt and it has a pocket, and I have one of those foam pads, and I'll have the link below again to where you can purchase these if you want to. Again, you could just get a piece of foam, but I really like having all these different sizes available. Notice that it fits just perfectly. And if I was doing it right side up, I could do it better. Into this pocket. And why would I need this, you're wondering? Okay, the reason why I like to put these little pads in is because if you'll notice, if I did not have this pad, there are seams here where the pocket is attached. And they're raised up from the basic part of the shirt. And what would happen if I put my flat pressing iron on here, like this? The seams would be the first thing that would hit, and in some cases maybe the only thing that would hit if I wasn't applying good pressure. So this just makes it perfect, so the seams are taken out of the equation. They're not even involved in where I'm going to be pressing. So I'll have a link below, like I said, where you can get these little foam pads if you want to. They're not cheap, but I think once you purchase them, you can use them forever and ever. And if you like to make t-shirts or different types of apparel, these are perfect. You saw yesterday how I used it in the sleeve to make the text on the sleeve. So let's go to Cricut Design Space and I'll show you what I'm going to make. Okay, here's what I'm going to make. Oh, and don't forget, join our Facebook group, Cricut Design Space with Patty Ann. I'll have a link down below for that too. All right, this is what I'm going to make, and shh, don't say anything. I'm going to make this for my husband's t-shirt. My sister Jean Frieda came up with the idea. You see, whenever we get together as a family, usually most of the girls go shopping and the guys stay home and play cards. So my brothers and brother-in-law are very competitive. My husband is not as competitive as they are. However, oftentimes he wins and it really ticks them off. So just for the heck of it, I thought I'd make him this t-shirt. So the next time he's playing with them, he usually wears another shirt over top of this. He can just kind of pull it aside and show his little badge, and I think they'll get a quick kick out of it. Anyway, so this is what I'm going to put on the pocket of his t-shirt. So let me show you how I decided to make it. So I'm going to group all of this together and move it over. So the first thing that I did was I came to the shape tool and I got a circle. Now I measured how big my little square is that I have, and it's 3.75 inches, and that fits perfectly into the pocket. If I'd prefer, I could measure the pocket to see how wide it is and then just make it a circle. So I'm going to make this come up to this size up here, leave the lock locked because I want it to stay as a circle, and I'm going to change this to 3.75 and hit enter. Okay, so then the next thing that I did was I changed this color of it to white. Came up here, white. All right, then the next thing I did was I started going around the internet. So I went here and I was looking for images, and that one's pretty cool. I went up here and I saw a lot of images that maybe I could use. But you know, I started to thinking, I'm not sure that I legally can use these, although it's just for my husband, so you know, it wouldn't really be that big of an issue. But why not go to Cricut Design Space and see what I can find? So I did. So I went to the images, and then the first thing that I did was I typed in shark. I tried card shark and nothing showed up. So I came to shark and I saw a bunch of them in here, and I started selecting ones that I thought might work. Now I don't want any that I have to pay for. I only want the ones in Access. I love using Access. If you don't have it, you might want to get it. Look below, I have a link to it. And if you use my link, I get a little tiny commission, which helps me buy more product to be able to show you these tutorials. Anyway, so I found this one that I like the best, and I actually put a whole slew of them. Every time you click on one, they come down here in this little trough. but the one I ended up using was this one. So I'm going to insert it. And there it is. And I decided to rotate him a little bit, as you can see over here. And of course I have to make him smaller so he'll fit. And I didn't really like the kind of yellowy gold. Maybe if I make it bigger you can see it. This yellowy gold color around him. So I decided just to get rid of that. So I came over here to the layers panel and found that one and just hit it. Okay, I liked it better like that. Now let me zoom back out so we can see my sample here again. So now the next thing I did was I found some text I wanted to use. Oh, no I didn't. I got the cards then. So then I came to images again. And this time I typed in card at first, or cards, because I thought something would come up, but all I got were like greeting cards. So then I typed in playing cards, I think, and hit enter. And boy, I was having trouble again. I'm like, whoa. But I scrolled way, way down. I kept scrolling, just enjoying looking at all the stuff that's available and access. And eventually I came to, oh, look at these. Interesting. Eventually I came to some playing cards because I didn't know where to find these. Oh, that's what I found that I liked. So if I want to now, I could click on this and see it was in a Father's Day cartridge, so I never would have found it there. Hey, maybe I could have looked up poker. But anyway, I got that one. That's the one I wanted, and I inserted it. So what I'm going to do now, see how that's over top of the shark? I don't want it to be. So I'm going to right click on it and say send to back. Uh-oh. Do you know what happened? I sent it all the way to the back. So right now it is even behind the circle. So what I want to do now is right click on it and say, no, I want to right click on the circle and I'll send it to the back. So now we have the shark and I'm going to make him larger. And I'm going to rotate him a little bit. And I have the cards, and I'll make the cards a little bigger also. Okay, and they're still behind the shark. Now what I did with the shark was I kind of rotated him a little bit so I could fit him on there a little better. I moved this down and over. I moved him over. And you just putz around with this until you get it to fit on the area that you have. So that looks pretty good. I think what I also did was I unlocked the shark and made him a little wider like that. Maybe a little longer. Well, anyway, you can just putz around with him until you get him to look the way you want him to look. So the next thing I did, I'll just leave it like this, is I came to the text tool and I used a text called Birthday Bash. So I would type it in here. If you want to use the same one, just type in birthday and bash comes up. And I'm going to put warning. Oops, all in caps. So let me click in there again and type in W-A-R-N-I-N-G. And I decided I liked it better if I hit the space bar and then hit the exclamation mark. It just worked out better. So I click off, then I click onto this and make it smaller. So it's going to fit up here. And another thing I did was I unlocked it and stretched it a little longer. And then I came up here to the curve tool and I curved it. If I go to the right, it curves. And I think whoops. I need to lock my lock back up again if I'm going to start messing with the size now. And I think I'll curve it just a little tiny bit more. Just like a little hair. There we go. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color of the text, and I'm going to change it to, up here, red. Okay, there's that. Make it a little bigger if I want. Okay, then the next thing I'll do is I'll just come over here to text again and put in Card Shark, and I did not do that in all caps, and I'm not sure why. I could do that. Whoopsie. F, that should be an S. Okay, Card Shark. And obviously I need to make it a lot smaller. And now I'm going to curve it so it matches the curve of the bottom of the circle. Let's see how that's working. Okay, I think it needs to be smaller and curved a little more. And rotate it just a little bit. Okay, I like that. So I'm going to change that one also to red. I've got to click on the text, come up here to the cut and change it to red. Okay, that looks pretty good. It's not exactly like the one on the right, but you can putz with yours and make it however you want to. This is just a sample that I'm making to show you how to do it. And I think my husband will actually get a kick out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hide this one now. Come over here. First I'll group it, and then I'm going to hide the whole group. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this one. And I need to come over here to flatten. And once I've flattened it, it's going to turn it all into a print then cut. So let's go to make it. And there it is. It's going to print all this out on my printer. And then when I put it in my machine, it's going to cut out the circle. Now, look down here and let me show you the product I'm going to use for this. Okay, this is the product that I'm using, and hopefully you can see that it says it's Jolie's Boutique Easy Image. And what it is, it's an iron-on printable vinyl. Okay, it's an iron-on printable vinyl. I'm going to be ironing this onto my shirt. What it looks like is this. Just looks like a white sheet of paper. On the other side, maybe you can see there are some lines. See those lines? Yeah. This is the wrong side. This is the side I want to print on. Well, notice these are supposed to come as whole sheets of paper. They're 8.5 by 11. This sheet is not. I've used some of it already. But you know, me being frugal, I'm going to still keep using this. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to just I'm going to tape this onto a sheet of typing paper, regular copy machine paper. I'm going to take this and I'm going to trick my printer into thinking this is a whole sheet. I'm going to take some masking tape and just take a couple little pieces and tape this right on to here so it stays in place. The last thing I did only took this much of the printable vinyl, so I saved all of this and I can still use it. So I'm going to come up to the top up here. I think I'll do it in 2 places. Wee little bit on the front and then towards the back. And this extra little bit of bulk doesn't bother my printer at all. Go to the back. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to my printer. I'm going to put this in face down like that because that's how it works in my printer, and it's going to come up like this and it's going to print what I want to iron onto the shirt right here. So let's go back one more time to Cricut Design Space. So I will go to continue. Okay, when it asks me to send it to my printer, I do click on the button. Then I come over here and find the printer that I have. I have a HP Office Jet, which means it's an inkjet printer. That's the only kind you can use with this material. I'm going to click on that to highlight it. I'll leave bleed on and I'll click on print, but I've got to go over to my printer and put this piece in now, so I'll be right back. Okay, it's all printed out. Now I'm going to take this sheet carefully off of the copy machine paper. Being careful not to mess up the little lines. And by the way, sometimes people say if my machine doesn't recognize where my cuts are, sometimes what I've had to do, if my printer was running out of ink, sometimes I had to come up here with a ruler and a Sharpie and just really align this as close as I can to where that's supposed to be, and then just draw some extra line on here so that my Cricut machine can see these registration marks. So this is ready to go now. I'm going to put it on my mat. And remember, I'm going to orient this the way it is up here in Cricut Design Space. So look here. I need to make sure that my warning word is at the top and Card Shark is at the bottom. So in other words, I have to put it on like this. I can't put it on like this or like this. It will not work. I must put it on the same way it shows on the mat in Cricut Design Space. Let's put that down. So what's going to happen next is my Cricut is going to come here. It's going to turn on a little light, and it's going to go all the way around here to see where these black lines are, and then it's going to let it know where to cut that circle out so it's perfect. So I'll be right back. Okay, I have my piece here. It is finished, so let me take it off the mat. And this is a little different than the usual iron-ons that we do. This one does not have a transfer sheet. So you just peel it off of here. If you kind of roll it back like this, you can get it started. Okay, there we go. Just don't want to stretch it, so I'm doing it gently. Okay, that's going to be perfect. And now I looked at the material that came with the iron-on and my little cheat sheet from Cricut Design Space, and neither one have this exact material on it. The directions that come with this say to put your household iron at the highest setting and then do this for like 90 to 120 seconds. So what I've decided to do is I'm putting my heat press, let me get it up here. I'm going to set its temperature to 320, which is what it's set at, and I'm going to set the timer for 20 seconds, which is what it is set at. And when it beeps, it will be ready. Get it all the way down in there. I'll straighten out my shirt a bit. Okay, did you hear my Cricut or my EasyPress? It beeped at me. It means it's ready. I'm not quite ready though. So let's make sure this is all the way down in there where I want it to be. Okay, perfect. I want to make this straight. So I probably should make this face me. All right, let's see. Morning, Card Shark. All right. So I'm going to take my EasyPress now and bring it over. And I'm going to apply good pressure to it. Oh, but wait, y'all. There's something I need to do. And that is, with this material, they give you a piece of parchment paper that you're supposed to cover this with. Yes, don't do it just with your heat press and nothing covering. So now I'm going to press it and hit that. I'm pressing down with good pressure. I feel like I'm getting a workout for the back of my arms. Okay. Let's see how it looks. Nicely done. Okay, that looks super duper. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the whole thing over, and what I might just do is turn it inside out, because remember, so I'm going to do this again on the back now for 15 seconds. Okay, there's 15. Now open it out. And let's check it out. Okay, I think that turned out really cute. There's a mark here around here that will go away as this cools off. You won't be able to see it at all. This is on here perfectly. One way you can tell is if you can almost feel a little bit of the texture of the shirt underneath of it, then it's on there perfectly. So that's it. That's how you do these. If you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up. And remember to subscribe. Also go to our Facebook page and join there. And look at my affiliate links down below if you're in the market to buy something. I really appreciate your using them because it gets me just a teeny tiny commission, and it really does help me to be able to buy these supplies and things so that I can continue to do these tutorials. So again, thank you. Love you guys. See you again soon. Bye-bye.